So I've taken the stock CB750 1978 wiring harness, and I cut the whole thing open and removed everything I didn't like. And I wanted to make it more race-like. I didn't want an ignition switch on it. I don't know why, but I just decided I didn't want an ignition switch on it. So what I did was I hooked the entire switching mechanisms to the handlebar kill switch, which is up there. You turn the handlebar kill switch to on, and what that does, it fires this relay. And this relay then in turn will operate the coil and the starter button. And also it operates the running light. The reason I had it operate the running light, since there's no other indicator on the motorcycle, there's no other idiot lights on it or anything, I'll be able to tell if I left the motorcycle on because the running light will be on. And it doesn't have any draw, so it's not like it's going to be a big deal on the battery because the running light is LED. This relay then fires another relay which operates the lighting system, which is the instrument lights, headlight, and low beam and high beam. And that's pretty much the entire function of the motorcycle aside from the horn. And the horn has a fused direct wire from the battery, so the horn actually operates without the ignition switch even being on. And the reason I did that is because I split the motorcycle into 3 separate loads: a lighting load, a operation load, and then an arbitrary non-switched power load, which just operates the horn. And in so doing, when I put the wiring harness back on, I call it kind of like a transparent wiring harness. This is my preferred way to make an electrical system. I don't know if you can see it. It might look like a bunch of spaghetti to you. But the reality of it is since I didn't use the stock Honda couplers, and remember I ran the wires all the way to the alternator, when I go to test this system out, all the ability to test is right here underneath this one panel. The harness is actually broken into 2 separate pieces. There's a ground circuit on the rear of the bike, and there's a ground circuit on the front of the bike. And the only thing that transcends both those 2 wiring systems are 6 wires, 3 going in and 3 going out. So that way, if I have any problems with this motorcycle whatsoever, I can pull this cover off and literally troubleshoot any part of the electrical system from this one panel. And you can do it, with a multimeter or even a deadlight for most of this stuff. And it all works. I already checked it all out, and it works perfectly fine. I'm going to give you a little walk around now and show you the motorcycle as it's completed and ready for me to paint the gas tank, side covers, and seat. So here's the last little tour before you see it with color on and the motorcycle running. I haven't tried to start it yet. I just finished the electrical system today and then decided to clean my shop up and shoot this last little clip. I obviously have not painted it, or maybe you can't tell, but that's the side cover up there is just primered as well as the other side. So I had this big idea. I don't know if you remember or not, but at the very first video I said the reason I decided to build this is because I finally decided on a color I liked to paint this thing. Well, in the last 2.5, 3 months that I've been building this thing, I decided I hated that color. So I don't have a color to paint it, which kind of allowed me to focus on actually building the bike. The bike is done. Everything on it has been verified except for running. It has spark, and the carburetors have been rebuilt. It's been rejetted to what I think the jets are going to have to be for the air pods and the open exhaust system. And I just wanted to give you one little last tour around before I show you the finished product, and it'll be running on the next video. I'm going to post this one, and the last one will just be the final. Powder coated high temp exhaust system. See that? Powder coated frame, bar end mirrors. Clubman bars. I got my air manifold in there, white indicators on my, or white faces on my instruments, plus my cool little fork air gauge in there. The left side switch is that Yamaha switch. It has a headlight on and off and then a high-low differential and a horn. But that turned out to be a lot cleaner than a Honda switch, didn't it? And like I said, I dropped the wires through the bars, through the triple tree, so you can't see wires on the outside of the bike. which I like a lot. Rebuilt carbureted with rejets, oval air pods from K&N, handmade rear sets, welded to that one triangle piece in the frame. A stock 77 exhaust that has been gutted for performance purposes. Took off the chain guard tabs and such, and then I put on a O-ring roller bearing chain, or an O-ring chain that has been gold anodized. Got a cool little cat eye type light here on a bobbed fender. New shocks of era type. These aren't the original shocks, but they're of the era, and so I thought that might be a good idea to go with these. I also have shocks that are an inch shorter that look just like this, and I'm going to go ahead and ride this bike and then figure out then if I want to actually drop it an inch or not. But this is stock for now, and then I'll see what it feels like afterwards. Here's my rear sets for the brake side. A slightly modified rear brake light system. I put the points in and checked them for spark and timed it. And so really, seriously. And then I also, it's filled with oil now, and I ran oil through it until I got oil up into the cam. And so literally I should be able to put gas in the carburetors and it should start right up. Of course, the carburetors will have to be synced and tuned a little bit, but I'm anticipating an easy start and an easy run. Finished bike, all cleaned up, ready for color. I'm going to post this and then get back to you on another video with the bike completely done and driving down the road. One last little note here. I'm thinking about doing the tank in a copper color, or trying to create a copper color. Tank side covers and tail in copper with some sort of black highlight or striping. And so I'm kind of liking this House of Colors, which is a gamma gold, but I don't got enough to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and play with it. I'm going to mix this solar gold from House of Colors, throw some red and some black in it, and see if I can get copper out of that. Just want to let you know what the process is that some stuff is just an experiment. And so out of this stuff here, this is a DBC from PPG, which is another color that I kind of like, which is a gold. So this is the realm of stuff I'm going to be using to mix up some sort of copper brown color, metallic copper brown for the cafe project. And one last little note, here's my 1969 that I'm building. All the hardware is here for it. I'm waiting for the chrome to get back here and I can build that bike too. I'll probably I don't think I'll post the building of the 1969 KO. I think I'll just put the bike on my website when I'm done with it. Anyway, I'll get back to you and you can see how these 4 cans of stuff turn out when it's painted and put on the motorcycle.